Hey everybody, welcome to Think Twice, a channel where we discuss comic books, movies, and television, and draw some of your favorite characters. I'm your host, Kevin Hart, and today we'll be talking all about Daredevil, Born Again. Stick around to the end of the episode to see how our drawing of The Man Without Fear came out. And if you like what you see, subscribe to the channel for more content. Daredevil is back, baby, in all his glory, and thank God Disney was smart enough to do the creative reboot because this show absolutely delivered on what was the tone of the Netflix version of the character. I'm sure we've all heard the reports of the show being written and shot, and it was more of a watered-down, lighthearted, comedic tone. Daredevil Born Again absolutely delivers on the grounded, gritty, graphic nature that Netflix established, and really focuses on the elements that made it work with Charlie Cox and Vincent D'Onofrio's Matt Murdock in Daredevil versus Wilson Fisk the Kingpin. It's very well shot, very well written. It almost reminds me of Watchmen with these little snippets of the BB report. That pacing and the needle drop moments kind of reminded me of a Watchmen-esque feel, and I kind of liked it. It was familiar, but it was different in its own sense of, okay, yeah, like this is a new, more polished version of Daredevil. They got that Disney money, which I gotta say, I thought that'd be a little bit more noticeable. It was definitely an upgrade of the swinging, but it was kind of a little wonky at parts. I really liked Matt Murdock's moral dilemma throughout the series of trying to keep on the straight and narrow and leaving it to the legal system as opposed to his vigilante, blind justice version of handling things. And that was really compelling, honestly, to see. It really paid off when Matt Murdock finally donned the costume, which was a bit of a slow burn for a few episodes until he put back on the suit, and it really paid off for me. Vincent D'Onofrio absolutely delivers as Wilson Fisk, the Kingpin. I really wanted to root for this guy and believe him as like turning the page and becoming this newfound character in his arc of Kingpin, of trying to be better for New York and better for himself. And then by the end of the series, I realized, yeah, no, this guy cannot be trusted. I know the actor lost a ton of weight, but I really do want my Kingpin to be absolutely enormous, almost like Into the Spider-Verse version of the Kingpin, where like he's all traps, all shoulders. The fatter the better, especially because they highlighted the Kingpin eating throughout the series. I want this guy to absolutely blow up by the time we see him in season 2. And he was so cold-hearted, man. Even the fact that Matt Murdock took a bullet for this guy and he was willing to kill him in the hospital, it just really goes to show that Kingpin, he cannot be trusted. And this is the guy that is now leading New York City. They showcased his brutal strength. That was such a poor outcome for the New York City Police Commissioner. His jaw getting destroyed was absolutely heartbreaking to see. So brutal. We see that Wilson Fisk's corruption is really just escalating into this fact that he's now playing both sides of the coin, where he's political but also underground, taking over the city, which was huge high stakes, especially with the anti-vigilante task force. I thought that was a really cool element of them misinterpreting the Punisher's symbol, executing their own martial law, which I gotta say that segues right into John Bernthal as the Punisher. It was so great to see him. He is absolutely perfect for the character. This guy was born to play the Punisher, the same way that Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman are Deadpool and Wolverine till death. These guys really are absolutely nailing the roles. He absolutely broke me with his acting, with the story of Frank Castle, of why he does what he does and what he feels when he's punishing, if you will. That was such a great exchange of dialogue between Matt Murdock and Frank Castle, of really trying to understand like what it is to be a hero. They have these two different lines that they're willing or not willing to cross. I thought by the end of season 1, it was a great finale. Very high stakes. It kind of reminded me of like the Marvel television version of Infinity War going into Endgame, where it left us on such a cliffhanger, where I need to see more of like, oh my God, what is going to happen? The heroes are completely down and out, and we need to absolutely rise above this. Out of the new additions of the supporting characters, rest in peace, Foggy Nelson. That was huge moment in the first episode to bring us back. It really gave Matt a reason to not don the costume for that period of time, for the first 5 or 6 episodes. From a story aspect, you could tell that the character just felt so guilty and so responsible for his best friend's death. But out of all the new characters, my favorite is by far Michael Gandolfini as this kid Daniel. He absolutely eats up every single scene he's in. Son of the legendary soprano star James Gandolfini, and this kid, honestly, he like really sold on the whole like highly ambitious wannabe mob boss element of the show, where he's almost like a danger to himself. I feel like by the end of season 2, he's almost gonna like bite off more than he can chew and be at Wilson Fisk's demise, I feel. So we'll see. It was great to see Bullseye return, even with killing people with his broken tooth was absolutely amazing. And I really like that Daredevil's a bit more armored up in this brand new suit. I still like Daredevil season 2's suit over this one, but It's a nice addition, and it's definitely a little bit more beefed up so you could take those shots to the chest. Overall, I really liked how the show was written. I really liked how it was shot. I really liked how it was paced. I liked the needle drop moments. It's a great continuation of the Daredevil Netflix show. As far as the negatives of the show, I'd have to say that episode 1 especially was very noticeably wonky in the CGI. I don't know if that's because it was a rushed job of having to rehaul this show entirely, or it was just so jarring seeing a more grounded version of Daredevil going into, almost like a Spider-Man type swing with the billy clubs. Something felt off. It felt unnatural. And that was another thing, is I felt like the fight scenes could have showcased the one-take aspect that Netflix did so well. There was a few moments of that where they're going throughout the gala of all these different conversations up the staircase in episode 1, but it didn't feel so in-your-face and impressive as the Netflix version. It was a bit of a slow burn. The first episode was great. It got us right into high stakes, the death of Foggy Nelson, but then it kind of dipped a little bit between episodes 2 to 4. Then episodes 5 and 6 were released simultaneously, and those episodes really picked it back up for me. And then from there, they were just hitting the ground running. Episode 5, for me personally, was genuinely so fun. It felt kind of like a filler comic, where it was very self-contained, really showcasing Matt Murdock's abilities without the Daredevil suit, and it showed the wider aspect of the MCU with Kamala Khan's father. I really, really enjoyed that episode. It was very engaging and very smart, very creative for me. I loved this new addition of this character, Muse. I don't know much about him from the comic books, but they absolutely nailed the visual aspect of him. He looks great, ripped straight from the comic book page. I really like the whole art angle. I think they could have expanded upon that a little bit more, especially given that Wilson Fisk is like haunted by this canvas painting of Rabbit in a Snowstorm, and Vanessa literally worked at an art exhibit. I think they could have developed that aspect a little bit more. Also, even given that, Daredevil is blind. You have this character that is so fixated on visual art, and you have a character that can't see, so that could have been a really cool dynamic of hero and villain, but he kind of felt wasted. He was gone like that. They built him up, slow burn for a few episodes. They talked about him all this time. There's murals all over the walls using blood. He was very creepy. I loved his studio, if you will, down in the subway. That was probably my favorite moment, was that fight of the return of Daredevil in his suit, taking matters into his own hands and absolutely going toe-to-toe with Muse, who was a really incredible fighter. I was like, all right, I need to know more about this guy. What is his back? How is he keeping up with Daredevil? And they kind of glossed over that a little bit with his backstory, but all in all, he was just kind of this like psycho, hyper-obsessive artist that I feel like they could have utilized a little bit more. And I really liked him, and he was just gone in 1.5 episodes. Which reminds me, I absolutely hated the new love interest of Heather, the psychiatrist. She was like unbearable to watch throughout the entire series. I'm hoping in season 2 they do something with Bullseye, given the whole like mental illness aspect of Bullseye. The fact that she's a psychiatrist and she's clearly on, Wilson Fisk's side. I hope that they kind of weave that in a little bit to make her a little bit more interesting. Otherwise, she was just so nauseating to watch. But yeah, I mean, the good outweighed the bad for me. There wasn't a lot of bad. It was just things that I wish they tightened up a little bit. The show was excellent for me. I really cannot wait for season 2. The finale, really, anything that was a slow burn really built up into this finale where it was very high stakes. And I was really hoping to see, Spider-Man or the Defenders return and save New York City in this massive blackout. It's so high stakes. I really hope that we see a little bit of a team up going forward in season 2. The show was very well executed. I'm going to give this thing 8.5 out of 10. What did you guys think about Daredevil Born Again? Let us know in the comments below. Anyways, that about wraps up today's episode of Think Twice. If you liked this episode, give it a thumbs up. Comment below to join the discussion. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more videos. We'll see you next time. Peace!